It's been good. This is going to be very interesting as two very neurodivergent people.
Oh,
so I'm really excited.
This conversation is going so left field. It's going to be great.
Yeah, tangents for days. I'm excited. Let's do this. I'm ready.
I'm really excited. Thank you, Bear, for the hugs through the screen. Appreciate you. So we do this thing on the start of every single start of Connections. It's to kind of get you warmed up, get you kind of going with the flow, get those answers moving. And that is quick questions. And maybe you've never seen an episode, or maybe there's some viewers in here who's never seen this. I want you to look into the screen for a second here while I play the... My goodness, where is it? Quick questions intro. I'm gonna run it. You might be asking yourself, how is Quick Question played? Well, there is a few things here. There's three things for it. So, the first thing is that there is going to be 10 questions. The second thing is that there is 60 seconds that the guest is going to have to answer every question. And number 3 is for every 5 seconds left on the clock, the viewer is going to be gifted 1 sub. So, Raven, what I'm going to say to you is there's no pressure on you to get it under 60 seconds.
Don't lie to me.
However, you might lose the heart of the chat a little bit. I'm just no pressure though.
No, that's fine. I guess. Let's do this.
Bear, the mad pressure. Bear, you're not supposed to say that. So first things first here. Chat, are you ready? If you are, spam some love again. I see that a lot of love in there, but can we see some more love? And then the second thing is Raven. Are you ready? Need to like...
Yes.
Are you sure?
No, but it's gonna happen. So let's go.
Alrighty. Chat, I need you to pull apart every answer and just make sure that there is more stress than there needs to be.
Oh, perfect. Yes, let's go. I'm a glutton for punishment.
The timer will start as I start the first question, and I will repeat after you finish up your question. So feel free to wrap it up. As soon as you wrap it up, I will start on the next question. So okay. We will go after it after, so don't feel like you have to explain any stories. Just kind of the answer is what we're looking for here.
Okay.
Alrighty, chat. 60 seconds is on the clock in just a moment. The first question is...
Yes.
I'm just playing with you. The first question is, what is your favorite word?
Cornucopia.
What is your favorite food?
Tacos.
What is your favorite drink?
Cucumber sake.
What is your favorite number?
73.
What is your favorite movie?
Damn. Hellraiser.
Who is your favorite influencer or celebrity?
Viola Davis.
What is your favorite vacation that you have taken?
Disney World.
Favorite animal?
Otter.
Favorite season?
Autumn.
Favorite gift you've ever received?
The first Raven from Teen Titans graphic novel. Okay.
Unfortunately, you did not beat the clock. However, you did get through the 10 questions. You almost beat the clock. You almost beat the clock too. You were just a second. That's okay. That influencer one really got you. However, I'm gonna... Are you sure your favorite word isn't fuck?
No, cornucopia just feels good.
It does.
I mean, fuck is normal now. Cornucopia?
That's where it hits.
It. Yeah.
So we're gonna go through every single one here, and we're gonna ask you and kind of elaborate on why those are your favorites. And maybe it wasn't your favorite. Maybe it was just one you just picked because it was the first thing that came to mind, and that's okay. So starting with the top and working our way down, your favorite word you said was cornucopia.
Sorry, chat.
Excuse me?
Yes, cornucopia. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can't just act like that didn't happen.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Thank you, Raven. Appreciate
You're
you.
welcome. Yeah, yeah, of course.
um, well, however, chat, there is still ways for you to win more prizes. We do have a giveaway coming up later in the stream. When we play Two Choose One Lie later in the stream, so keep that in mind. My goodness, Pugs is here. Hello, Pugs. How did I miss the fact that we started early today? Pugs, it was everywhere. I'm sorry. Everywhere that I post. But welcome in. Pugs is known as our resident Two Choose One Lie winner. Whenever they are here, we don't miss. This motherfucker don't miss. So starting with the favorite word. You said your favorite word is cornucopia. Is it just because it feels nice in the mouth, or is there anything else to it?
It just sounds like, when do you actually fucking use that word? When do you use it? So like, I don't know, like when I find ways to use it or I have used it, it just feels like very, I don't know, liberating. I feel accomplished for the day.
Okay. By the way, Pugs, thanks for the sub. I forgot to say that as well. Thank you. Appreciate you. But I would say is the one time I've used cornucopia, it's like when I'm reading Hunger Games. Like that's the last time I've used cornucopia, and that was like 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Well, now you used it. You're welcome.
That's true. That's true.
Look at that.
That's how I feel about a few big words I know. Strangely, I mean, it almost feels better to be able to say it, right? You said your favorite food is taco.
Yeah.
Is there a specific like hard shell, soft shell?
Hard shell.
What kind of
yeah.
beef taco? Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see. Okay. You said your favorite drink was some sort of cucumber something?
Sake.
Sake, okay. Sell me on it.
Okay, it tastes like summer.
Oh, okay. Is sunscreen? Is that what we're drinking?
No, like it tastes like summer. So like, you know, like if you are like on a hot day and like you kind of pull up to like this little drink stand and like you're like, hey, I'll have whatever you're selling. And they're like, yeah, take it. And then you just take that sip and it's just like refreshing, right? Yeah, that's for me what it is. And like when you mix it with like green tea, that's it. Done. Sold.
All right. Well, now I have to try it. I've never tried cucumber sake, and I'm with green tea now. I see people going a little bit crazy in chat about your hard shell take here.
Is that what I said?
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, there's gonna be more things in there. I see we already have some questions from the audience too that we'll go over later. So we're gonna have some more of a debate here, I think, in a few moments here.
That's fine. I'm ready.
Sounds good. You said your favorite number was 73. Where does that come from? Does it come from playing a sport? Does it come from a date? So actually, I guess it wouldn't be a date. Well, I mean, maybe a combination of dates.
Kind of.
Okay.
So when I was young, I counted 73 cars for my sister to pick me up to take me to see my nephew who was born.
Oh.
So that's why that's my favorite number.
That's really sweet.
I was a cute kid, and then I grew up. And here we are. Whole hot mess.
Favorite movie. You got a little stumped on this one. I didn't write it down because I was like a little bit worried for you. Mm-hmm. What did you end up saying for that one?
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. That's right. Okay. Why Hellraiser? Why has that become the favorite?
Because it's tacky. Like it's one of those like well-known horror films.
Okay.
But like it's really not great. And I love that. I don't know. It just makes me happy. Like if I'm sick, like that's probably one of my go-to movies where I'm just kind of like climbing in bed and just like watching stupid people be stupid.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. You can watch Jackass or you watch Hellraiser.
No, well, you see, like I don't want to see actual bodily injury. Like I don't like that, right? Like that's too much for me. I don't want to see people get hurt. But like, you know, when it's fake, it's fine.
All right. Fair enough. A favorite influencer. You really got stuck on this one. That you probably lost about, I think, like 10 to 15 seconds on this one.
Yeah.
And I feel for you. This is one of the ones I'm wondering if we may have to take out too, because I've seen a lot of people get stuck on this one recently. Favorite influencer. I don't remember what you said here because it was Viola
Davis.
Okay. Why?
You said we're celebrity. Yeah.
Okay. And why?
Because she's a strong Black woman, right? And she is amazing at what she does, and she doesn't get the recognition she deserves. But she's still very vocal, and she still is really pushing barriers, right? Like she was called the Black Meryl Streep. And she was the first one to be like, "But y'all don't pay me like that." So I connect with her, and it's hard because people are like, influencers. You are an influencer, like that should be easy, and it's not because like I don't really idolize people in that sense. I know that seems
Mhm,
weird to say, but like I try to treat people as people rather than just like, oh my god, you're you. Especially having gotten a taste of that, it can be a little off-putting after a while. Um, so I don't know that I have necessarily a favorite influencer,
mhm.
if that makes sense.
That's fair. I can definitely relate to that because I think with doing this and trying to get to know real people behind the creators as people kind of build
Mhm.
them up to be, it's hard to not like I wouldn't say it's hard to fall into that category because I think I can easily side myself out. I've never been someone who freaks out when I meet people and stuff like that. Like I met a couple celebrities. There's probably a couple that I probably would lose my mind over, and I mean, which is like rare. But there's like a handful of like people that would be like big type of thing.
Mhm.
But I also like when I'm approaching someone like this. For instance, you didn't know me. You had no idea who I was. I was some random kid in the chat. That's all you knew about me.
Mhm.
And I think within one message, you said, "Yeah, let's do it. I'll be on the podcast for sure. Let me know when."
Yeah.
And I admire that because it's not easy to do that, especially someone who has gone through so much so fast very recently. And to take someone that you really didn't know much about, but you just trusted your instinct. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot.
Of
And I
course.
mean,
Thanks for inviting me.
of course, thanks for coming. This show isn't much without you. um, the Going on to a favorite vacation. You said Disneyland, but you looked a little hesitant about it.
'Cause I really haven't gone on vacations. It
Sounds
wasn't something that I was really afforded as a kid. Even in my older years, like I've never really been at a point financially where I'm able to just do that. So the last vacation I went to was Disney, and it was probably my favorite because my son was still a baby, and that was the last vacation I went on with my dad who passed. We're coming up on 3 years next month. So
oh, I think we have.
mental value for me.
I don't know what happened there, but we lost you for a second there. You are good now, but there was you said about your dad passing about 3 years ago, and then it cut out.
Oh, yeah, so it just yeah, I don't know why I did that, I'm sorry. But, that was the last vacation I went on, because we are coming up on 3 years of his passing, so that was one of, the more fond memories I've had, so that's why I said that.
Okay. I mean, hey, it's the most. What is it? The most. What is it? What did they call it? Oh my goodness! Why can't I think of it? The most amazing
Because
place on earth.
brains
The happiest place on earth. Happiest place on
yeah,
earth.
okay. I mean, debatable, but I had fun.
Disneyland's amazing. Don't say anything about it. You can't
Listen,
change my mind.
I'm not saying it's not amazing. I'm not saying the people that work there are not amazing, but the people who frequent there,
I suppose. I suppose.
listen.
Brendan the corporate shrill. Easy now, pugs. um, I just love Disney. Okay, it brings good feels. Okay, pugs. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That's all. That's the only reason why. Corporate slave. All right, easy now. Everyone, calm down. um, it was hot in hell and some smelly, sweaty people there. I mean, all right. Next question. You said favorite animal was otter. I was a little bit
Yeah,
surprised that it wasn't going to be raven, but I mean, maybe that's just a little bit too cliche.
yeah,
Okay, that's fair. That's fine. That's
yeah.
fine.
I mean, have you seen a fucking otter? They're so cute.
They are cute. Little sea.
How could I not? They're like little sea dogs,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
They're like little baby puppies floating in the water. They're the best,
They're very
hands
cute.
down.
They're very cute. Um, those things got teeth too, though. Hey, those are terrifying.
That's that's it. That's it. Because as cute as they are, they're vicious as
Yeah.
fuck. I identify.
Spirit animal.
Yes, very much.
um, favorite season you said was autumn.
Mm.
So what is it about autumn? Obviously, I know you like your horror and stuff like that, but
I
why
live
why
horror
autumn?
year long, so it's not that. It's because it's cooler out, so it's not like freezing. It's nice. I love the colors. It just for me feels very peaceful. Like it's spring, like you have to worry about like suffocating from tree semen, right? You don't have to do that in fall. Yep, I said what I said.
Tree what?
Don't you at me. Tree semen. Pollen is literally tree jizz. You can't change my mind.
Well, good to know this podcast on Anchor will be explicit.
Strangely gets it, see?
Oh my goodness. Really though. And the favorite gift you've ever received. I did miss this one. But I know you took a second to answer this one. So I'm actually interested to see what you did say.
It was I forgot where it is. I think my husband actually has it, but he bought it for me for our first Mother's Day together. And it was the first standalone Raven from Teen Titans graphic novel.
Right. That's really cool. That's really awesome gift. That's really cool. Awesome. Well, that is quick questions. We got through them. We did. That's the first game on this game show, which is or this podcast, I should say. This is the game show.
We did it. We got there.
We got through one thing. We've done it.
Mm-hmm.
1 point for ADHD brains. So that's kind of quick questions. Sometimes we get some prizes, sometimes we don't, and that's okay. That's all right. There's always two truths, one lie. We're just hoping we don't get a dry spell here. So chat, I'm going to need you later in the episode to help me out. However, we have some questions from the people in the audience, the lovely friends of ours here. The first one comes from EE. And I don't want you to overthink this, because EE asks this to every guest. And so there's people put a little bit of pressure on this question. And I mean, it's understandable. The question is, what do you think about Scotland?
I think it's really a fascinating country. Like, especially in like ancient times, because that's what I'm obsessed with, right? Like I love like the older like stories of like paganism and tribes and things like that. So I think it's pretty interesting. I like their folklore a lot. I like their myths a lot and legends. So
okay. Fair. I love it. That's probably the best answer we have. Exactly, Pugs. Probably the best answer we've gotten for that question. See if that's going to be a show of what anything's going to be like today. See, look, like now here's the real question. This is one that's near and dear to my heart, Raven. So I need you to answer this carefully. All right.
Okay.
And this is asked by Donovan, our lovely mod Hoboduva. Which is like I said, no one's escaped without this question being asked. So you don't get any buy on this one either. The question is toilet paper, over or under?
Over.
Okay.
Over. What the? Why? Anybody who puts the toilet roll under deserves to be smacked on the hand. How? No, that's not how that works. You're making it harder for yourself.
Listen.
Because friction is literally working against you. I'm just saying.
Thank you. We do have follow-up questions that is kind of sprouted from this being a question that we've asked every single stream. Ouch. Bear, I told you. I
mean, you could actually look and find the schematics for the invention of the toilet roll, and it is over. That is how it was intended. So I will judge you very harshly. I don't get paid for it. I'm not a professional, but I will fucking judge you.
Professional toilet paper over. I am, so. However, this question has spreaded legs, like I said, and so we've gone into a little bit deeper, if you will.
I'm scared. Okay.
Yeah, you should be. When you wipe, you scrunch or fold?
Both.
I need an explanation.
Well, sometimes you fold, right? And then sometimes you don't have enough paper when you fold, so you kind of just gotta scrunch. Okay. Maximum efficiency.
I get. I'll give you that one. Okay. Okay. All right. It's not the wrong answer, but it's definitely not the right one.
No, there's no scrunch or fold. Listen, clean your ass. Doesn't matter. That's it.
And then the final question, which is, I mean, we're getting really deep here, and figuratively, literally.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm here.
When we're wiping, front to back or back to front?
For female presenting people and people with female genitalia, there's only one What in the Sam Hill? What in the hello? Obviously, front to back, you can't be wiping no shit in your fucking chocha. What the hell kind of what? Hello?
Oh my goodness. Pugs, I guess, yeah, agreed.
Hello. Why is this way?
You did not just pull the voice bot on me.
I did. Oh, I did.
Oh
Why
my
is
goodness.
this a thing?
I just spit my tea. Yeah, really Bear Project. For real, Bear.
What in the
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no,
Hill
like,
kind of.
glad we have no sneaky coochies in here.
You can't be wiping no dookie in your chocha. The fuck? Mm-mm. No, sir, ma'am, either or neither. We don't do that here. Not in this house.
See how much you can find out about a guest, the way they wipe, and how they put their toilet paper. A lot of you can find out. We got one more. We got one more question from the audience as I wipe away my tears. Pugs ask, wiping sitting or standing, or sorry, standing or sitting down. Oh my goodness.
Y'all really are asking me about my toilet habits. Like, this is real.
It's real.
This is not like I'm not this. I sit the fuck down. I sit the fuck down and I lift a cheek. Okay? If you must know.
This is my favorite part of connections because it's always great. There's no guest who has been fully prepared for this question. There's no way.
Why would we?
It's great, perfect because we come off so professional and we just hit you with this right off the bat. Well, I mean, the pug goes odd. What do you mean odd?
Listen, I have better access when I'm already sitting than when I'm standing and I have to like bend over to try to like. There's real estate back there.
Doesn't like the doors close if you stand up? Yes! Right? Like,
yes, then I gotta work to like spread the cheeks. I'm not trying to do all that. That's a lot of work.
Effort.
That is a lot of energy wasted on wiping when I could just fucking like scooch and lift a cheek.
Oh my goodness, I'm crying. This is the first time I've cried on connections. Not the way I thought it would be. Okay,
I'll be
well,
here for the next couple hours.
All right,
we
perfect.
got this.
There we go. So we're going to the questions that I have. Oh, thanks, Donovan and Pugs, for prompting those. Appreciate you. Which leads me to this question: what made you want to begin streaming or content creation as a whole?
I got told I couldn't.
Okay, so it's kind of like
I'm spiteful. Not always my best, trait, but it is a trait of mine that I own. I was dating somebody at the time who had started to basically do, streaming. And I was like, "Oh, like that looks like a lot of fun. Like I'd like to do that, with you." And he dead ass looked at me in my face and he's like, "No, you can't. It's mine. It's my thing."
Oh, didn't we know people own Twitch? But okay.
Uh-huh. All right. He stopped streaming. Look where I am. Sheesh.
Yeah, exactly.
Got ice in my veins.
Really though. So I mean, hey.
Yeah, but honestly, that was the reason. The other reason was because I've always had a hard time making and maintaining friends. Apparently, that is one of those gifts with ADHD that nobody really talks about, right? Because everybody thought I was annoying, or I talked too much, or I was weird, or like I was the class clown, where somebody would be like, "Oh, go do this," and I'd be like, "Yeah, that sounds like a great idea," without being able to actually think through the process. But I didn't know I had ADHD then, right? So I was often used for things. And when I was able to kind of create my own safe space and like have people just kind of hang out with who weren't judgmental of me because I, was presenting with those symptoms, it was something that I genuinely held on to. Like I enjoyed that feeling of just being able to be me.
I like that. That's fair. And you said before stream, I said today I want to meet the Raven, the real Raven, not RekItRaven. I want to meet Raven. And you said, well, Bren, you're
Yeah.
gonna get Raven because that's what you get on Twitch. And I said, that's great.
Yeah.
That's lovely. That's what I want to hear. So, I mean, I don't like. I can go and watch any Twitch chat and see the actual streamer. That's fine. I can see that the streamer side of people, but I can't always see the real person. But I do think you kind of carry your like the realness, whether it's on stream, whether it is just kind of in interactions, especially with me. You've been always very real and 100% you. There has been no change in attitude any sort of way. I mean, I've worked with over 30 creators now at this point, and I've seen different sides of things. People who are unfortunately not the same person that they are on screen. I've seen people who are completely exactly the same person they are. And I've seen someone who's maybe like a little bit of a persona, but also can whittle back and forth, which is totally okay as well. But I think the most near and dear is being actually like true to yourself. And I mean, growing up with ADHD too, you're speaking my language there of a lot of things, which is kind of interesting to me at least. We got a little bit of hydrate here, so let's
Oh, okay. Here we go.
hydrate up. Next question here is, what is a TLDR version of your life? From the first Raven memories to Raven sitting on connections with me and this lovely group of people that have decided to join us today. What is kind of that looked like for you?
A lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of trauma. As a kid, I was luckily only in one foster system, but or foster family, but I was in the system. I went back and forth between my biological mother and my adoptive family. Um, it was very traumatic because my biological mother was severely abusive to me. Um, a lot of it was, verbal, emotional, physical. I was sexually assaulted um, because of her when I was 9. So I grew up never really understanding my worth outside of what I could do for people. And that's something that I'm still struggling with now. Um, but after kind of, leaving her and not necessarily starting a new life, but like starting my life in my adoptive family, unfortunately, a lot of the time, like a lot of the damage was already done. I didn't have a childhood. So I grew up really fast. I just remember it being very tumultuous. There's a lot that I honestly can't remember about it. But um I was a stupid kid. Like I did things that were just dangerous because I was never really in a place of knowing better. Um and like I put myself in danger because I wanted to make others happy a lot. Um no matter the cost to me, cuz even when I tried to do good things when I was a kid and I was with my bio mom, like it was often met with violence. So, um I almost expected to just like seek attention and then essentially be chewed up and spit out. Like that was my understanding. Um but as I grew, like I started to kind of understand who I was, but I was also raised in a white family, so I never was able to explore or learn about my culture and heritage um, without getting like the side eye from some of my adoptive family members. Um, and it wasn't until I kind of moved out and I started understanding my worth as a person of color, my worth as a femme presenting person of color. Um, been through a lot of shit in my life. My son's father tried to beat me to death. Didn't work. We ended up homeless when he was a baby. Um, then my sister-in-law or my sister's husband, because my adoptive siblings are significantly older than me, would, you know, sexually harass me. So by the time I moved out, I was at a point of not really having any self-worth. But I was able to secure a job um, that I loved. And so I did that. Um, and then I met my husband at work. We eloped, not like super soon, but like, I mean, we kind of knew it was like, yo, if this shit doesn't work, like I'm done, right? Um, I lost my father shortly after that. Um, Ended up getting pregnant. I had a very, very, very tough pregnancy, and a very traumatic labor where I nearly lost my life. And content creation was kind of sprinkled in throughout. Um, Probably since 2016, it's kind of been sprinkled throughout. Um, and after having gone through the delivery and coming to terms with the fact that I had postpartum depression and undiagnosed ADHD and um physically I was very ill because I had nearly bled out, so I was falling asleep all the time. um PTSD from the incident. Like, after I really started to understand these things is when I got back into content creation, and it's when I started to really shift gears in my content creation, where it became about speaking into people and building them up and connecting with them on a level that is deeply below the surface, because we only have one life, and I wanted to make the most of it, and I want to make a life for myself and my children that invokes change, because I don't want them to have to go through what I did. And if they choose to have children, I don't want their children to go through what I have had to. Um, so that's kind of my life in the TLDR form.
I'm sorry you had to go through all those traumas.
I'm not. Honestly, like, I'm not, because it made me who I am, and I like who I am. I may not love who I am all the time, but I was given the gift of being empathetic and sympathetic and being able to inspire and reach out and talk to and change things. So it took me a while to get to this point, of being okay with how things went. But I take solace in the fact that I can help so many people, myself included.
And I appreciate who and I appreciate who you are and what you've done. And
Thank you.
we've talked about this both in front of an audience and also in our pre-stream meeting that we had before, as well as for those of you that might not know who this lovely creator is. First off, I'm a little shocked. I'm going to talk like I'm talking to my mom. Hi, Mom, because I know you're in here. So one thing about Raven that's really like inspiring to me is about August, I think it would probably started. There was this thing called hate raids that plagued Twitch, essentially. It was people making these fake bot accounts, essentially, that would come into marginalized creators' streams, typically, and it would just spam racial, sexist, a bunch of just disgusting words into the chat, and it would just fill up the whole chat. I'm smacking my things. It would.
Sorry, what?
I'm so angry. No, I mean I am, but not enough to break my desk. Not right now. Which is really upsetting. And when a lot of really big creators kind of ignored, would probably be the word I would use. It all happening. And Twitch itself ignored what was happening and acted as if it wasn't happening. There's a couple creators, and one in particular, who decided to not be quiet and decided that it was not okay and it shouldn't be ignored, and it should be something that we're talking about. And it is something we're talking about 2 months since then. And unfortunately, we are still talking about it because it is something that's unfortunately still goes on. From what I've kind of seen, not as much, but it's still happening. And it's, which is really sad. It's disgusting that even that had to happen, and it's disgusting that someone a creator from the platform had to speak up, and it wasn't done by the own platform themselves. That disgusts me personally. But I will say is Raven put in a lot of effort to kind of stand up for the little people, the ones who are getting plagued with these disgusting messages, and it's shown. It's definitely taken apart. Twitch has changed many of their security options since a day off of Twitch, and hashtag Twitch do better movement. I don't know if I explained that perfectly, but
No, you
that's
did a
kind
good job. You
that's
did a good job.
of my understanding from what I've seen, and I'm just kind of learning from through you. I've learned through Bear from the tweets. I've learned through other creators. I think Critical Bard is another one that I've seen that is spoken up against it. Which I don't these are creators I'm just meeting and getting to know through this, I guess, from what is so disgusting, a beautiful movement in itself of pushing out in that thing. And so I don't know if I left out any parts, please feel free to add on to that. But
Yeah, no, I just think it was one of those things where like hate rates have always been a thing, but like there was a day where or like one week I had gotten hate rated, and then the same day the next week I had gotten hate rated. And then when I had uploaded those clips, like they kind of took off because people thrive off black trauma, let's just be honest. Um, and then the day after is when I saw another tweet of somebody else screen capping, the exact same messages that I was getting, and he was a person of color. And so that's when I, retweeted that and I was like, Twitch do better. And that's when everything fucking just exploded, right? And I think it's important. Like it was never my intention to like get clout off of any of this. Because that's not what it was about. It's always been about just making sure that people who are targeted for existing in their skin, in their bodies, in their heads are not being targeted anymore. Like they deserve the same protections that you're giving, your cisgender hetero white dudes. Just because you deem us not marketable or profitable or whatever it is, doesn't mean that we're any less people. And so I think that's why when I did the whole or started the Twitch Do Better hashtag, that's where I was. And then, people obviously started taking it and using it for whatever the fuck they wanted. And I can't control, social media. But I tried to be as candid and honest about all of it throughout. And it was just frustrating to see so many people try to twist it into like the narrative of like, well, pay me more. Yeah, you should be making more, but that's not what this is about. So
no, I think from what I saw, you did a great job.
I
I
appreciate
have a
that.
bit of a confession to make too, actually.
Okay.
When I met you through a mutual friend, Initial D. And I was watching mainly because both of our lovely friend, the Bear Project, was on there. Bear. And I, to be honest with you, I didn't know who you were.
That's okay.
I saw no, and I knew you'd be okay with that part. I went and saw you, and I saw your takes on how you talked about things. I actually missed the conversation, Bear, that you guys had about Raven and your conversations you had on that podcast about them being there, which you told me about later, Bear. I just saw this person that came in, were really, really like open, honest, and real. And so I was like, okay, let me go check Twitter out. and I was like, because Bear mentioned about Twitter, and I was like, okay, like they're the same person on Twitch in the chat that they were on Twitter. It seems like a really interesting person to get to know. And then I messaged you, and I was like telling someone, I think early in September, yeah, so we got this person coming on, and they're like really awesome, and and yeah, it's RekItRaven. And they're like, wait, who? I'm like, RekItRaven. They're like, do you know who that is? I'm like, yeah, it's like some really cool, awesome like streamer that like really like is like really open and honest and doesn't like bullshit. They're like really great. They're like, yeah, of course, that of course that as well. but they're like the one who like really pushed the movement for like Twitch Do Better. I was like, you mean like the one I hashtagged and I took a day off of Twitch in September 1st for? That one you're talking about? Like, yeah, I was like, cool. I was like, they're really down to earth though. They haven't got a help. They haven't got a big head on them, which is awesome and great to see.
No, that's too heavy. I don't like that. No, thank you.
I mean, well, yeah, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, no, it's one of the things is, to be blatantly honest, when we first had our conversation, I had no idea who you were. And I mean, that's honestly probably better. Like it's, and that's not that I don't think I would, I mean, my opinions have not changed since that day. I think it was just kind of one of those things of like, oh, that's really cool. Like it was like building up the resume, if anything, for me, is when I was kind of learning about you and kind of like researching you. That was kind of one of the things I can definitely add to it. It was one of those kind of cool things. But yeah, no, it was one of those very interesting things. I don't know if you know this, but you were actually the first ever partner streamer on Connections. So you're making history today. And I could have not have asked for a better person to be on that is partnered by Twitch.
You.
No, I appreciate you and everything you have done for people here. However, I'm going to flip one last question before we go to our break. And that is the question of the day that Baltazar just put in there. Hello, Baltazar. Hello, B. Welcome in. Sorry, I haven't said hi to you yet. I didn't want to interrupt the conversation. You know what's going on. You guys have been here before. The question of the day is, and this is going to go to you now, Raven, is do you have any secret hobbies or skills that most people would not know about you? I know you said tarot reading, but is there anything else?
Mm-hmm. I actually used to dance competitively as well.
Interesting. Do the cha-cha?
No, like I did hip hop, tap. Those were my two big winners. I did some other like weird shit, but like tap and hip hop were like, you know, get crunk and shit. It was dope.
It's great. It's awesome. Well, good for you. I like move like a white father. So and that is not something you want to be called when you're dancing. Secret hobbies, spider studying. Yeah, Bear, we found out the hard way.
What? No.
Oh,
Nope.
well, hey, exclamation mark podcast. You can go watch the episode and listen to it later if you're interested.
I will, but I will be very upset and I will judge harshly.
Yeah, Bear, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I hear the toilet paper and the spiders. Donovan goes, Brent got the rhythm of a drunk uncle. Thanks, Donovan. That's my best friend. No. Oh my goodness. So we're gonna go ahead a quick break here. However, when we get back, we're gonna play this game. It's called Two Truths, One Lie. You won't want to miss it because we might be giving away a $10 gift card to PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, or the Steam Store when we get back, if the chat can help us guess the proper lie. So don't miss that. I see Pugs in chat, so there's a good chance we might be doing a giveaway today. Thanks to Pugs. Yeah, we will see you right after this break. Enjoy the reels, and we'll see you in just a moment.
A giant question mark. And I got basically a one message heads up after not hearing from them about why things could not continue, and it was just a lot of external forces that caused some issues. All their social media has vanished, they're gone, and I haven't heard from them since. And sometimes you cannot get closure. Sometimes you just have to move on without knowing the answer.
If you could ask a single person one question and they had to answer truthfully, who would you ask and what would you ask? And they could be dead or alive.
I think I would ask my dad if he wanted to be around more. I feel like I wanted him around, but I never knew how to ask. I always kind of wondered that. And clearly being almost 30, it still kind of eats at me. But I do think about that a lot. I always wonder if he wanted to be around more and he just maybe didn't know how to, or like what was it there that happened? Because I think not only me, but I think my sisters needed him too. I think we needed him and he wasn't there, and I never understood why. And I don't even know, maybe he would say I don't know. And that's okay, but I think there would be some sort of answer that I could say, okay, I can accept this.
If you wrote a book about your life up to now, what would the final line say?
I think it would end with something along the lines of, and she was happy. I think the ultimate goal of life is to achieve happiness. I hope happiness for every single person. That is the ultimate goal. It just perfectly summarizes it. You just want to be happy in life. I don't have to be big and famous and be filthy rich. I just want to be happy. That's all I want. It's very simple, but I just want to be happy.
What is the best advice that you have ever received?
It was to prioritize myself. I was always worried about my friends, and eventually that took a toll on me. My therapist was like, you have to focus on yourself. At the end of the day, you can't help everyone as much as you want to, and you can't please everyone. So focus on yourself, really understand how you're feeling, and set your boundaries. You have to prioritize your well-being.
What is the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
You're the only person that can take care of yourself. Ultimately, you can ask others for help, and often you can get help, and that's wonderful. But when it comes down to it, you're brushing your own teeth every day, you're putting pants, you're the one taking care of yourself. You have to. If I want things to get done, I have to be the person looking for change.
What life-changing event have you experienced?
So I was with this person for just under 3 years, I think. But in that time, I basically completely isolated myself from my family, my friends. I was just like a typical, like very insecure teenager. I moved out just to be closer to this person. And this was a kind of like very controlling environment. Like they decided what I dressed, what I said. I couldn't swear because it wasn't ladylike. I couldn't buy protein powder because it would make me bulky. Developed an eating disorder. Didn't go to college for this person. It was a very, very controlling environment, and I moved in with this person when I was 18. And that was where I actually realized what kind of situation I was in. I think the worst part about it was because I had isolated myself so much, there are people that I lost because I didn't go spend time with them when I could. I was only allowed to be around that person, and that's it. You know, I lost my grandmother, and I lost someone who was basically a father to me during that time. And I think that's actually one of the things that created a turning point for me, was when I lost that person and the person that I was with told me that I just had to get over it. And I think mental abuse is something that's not talked about enough. I want people to know because I want people to be able to learn. If there is somebody in your life that is telling you how to dress and how to act and who to talk to and who to be around, that person is toxic and is not worth a moment of your time.
Welcome back. Welcome back. What's up? What's up, everybody? Oh, you got the Halian emote. I love that, B. What's up? I love that. Yeah. So, by the way, exclamation mark reels, whatever you want, Instagram, IG. You could go see out more of those. We're gonna be posting them a lot more often now on there. But you guys are getting sneak peek because you're here. You're getting sneak peeks on what those videos look like and what those reels look like. So, just see, there's some perks to being here in chat.
Hell yeah.
So, this is the part of the show where we play Two Truths and a Lie. And maybe you're like, what the heck is Two Truths and a Lie, bro? Like, what is this? Well, good thing we made a little intro for you. If you direct your eyes to the screen, it will show you.
My screens to my eyes, thank you.
There's 3 rules of Two Truths and a Lie. The first one is that the guests, you are going to provide 3 statements about themselves, and 2 are a fact and 1 is a lie. Number 2 is the viewers are going to be able to guess the false statement by voting in a poll. If the viewers are correct, one of the viewers will get a prize. They must be in the Discord to claim, and subs will get 5 entries. If me, Bren, chooses the correct false statement, one of the viewers will become a VIP on this channel today, selected by the wonderful RekItRaven.
Hey.
So, I gotten to this point where we have too many VIPs I limited it at 5. The VIPs are my actual family, and then the new family members that we have here. So we have right now. Let's go check all of our new family members who we got here. So VIPs, we've currently got my mom and my girlfriend, which are I'm sorry, they're not leaving. Not exactly. We've got Pugs, we've got B, we've got Dre, we've got Wolf, and we've got Damien. So there it is. Aligrab, what's up? What's up, babe? How's it going? Good to see you. Hey yo. Please don't evict me. However, if I do not get it right, you don't have to choose. The pressure's off of you. However, if we do, you're gonna have to choose someone to leave and someone to join. I will say there's some people that aren't in chat today, and just saying. So
I don't like that.
It's all right. Maybe we won't have to go there. Don't worry about it.
We'll see.
However,
Let's go.
Let's go to choose with 2 truths and a lie. I'm going to give you the floor to please tell us your 3 statements that you'd like.
I have 2 kids. I have a bat tattoo right here. And I have had surgery to remove a benign tumor from my spine.
Okay, 2 kids, a bat tattoo, and can you repeat that last one for me one more time, please?
You can just say I had a tumor removed from my spine.
Tumor removed from spine. Alrighty, well, welcome back, mans. All the VIPs are sweating. Really, though. Like, please don't evict me. Pug's gonna throw the game to protect their VIP. Really, though. Hey, it's me, though. It's me that gets to choose. So I'm just saying. Donovan, if you could please run that poll for me. Number 1 is going to be that they have 2 kids. Number 2 is that they have a bat tattoo on kind of their lower back.
Nope, ribcage.
Oh, ribcage, sorry, ribcage. I would choose option 4, Pugs. And number 3 is that they've removed a tumor from their spine. As Donovan gets this poll set up for us. It's okay, Multi. We love getting abused by customers.
Ooh, spicy.
What did Multi say? Oh, from your work. Oh, damn. Hope everything's okay, babe. Is it about the streamer? It is about the streamer, Sophie. Welcome in, Sophie. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining us. And thanks for the love, by the way. Donovan, are you there? Is the poll running? Is my thing just broken? It just might be broken. I'm Big Dome. Donovan? I can't do it from my phone. Okay, hang on. I'll do it. It's all good. I got it. Fine. We got it. I'm good. Flash poll. What? I heard that too. Is everything okay?
I think so.
There's gonna be a 3-minute poll here for the. Someone already did it. Thank you to whoever did it. Thanks, mods. Love you. Before I can even do it. So, number 1, the lie being that they have 2 kids. Number 2, that they have a bat tattoo. And number 3, they have a tumor removed from their spine. What is the lie? I see a lot of people saying that the kids is a lie. Number 1 is taking the lead right now with the most. 75% of people are saying that. Number 2 being a bat tattoo on the ribcage. And number 3 being a tumor removed from their spine. I see a lot of people saying number 1. There's a lot of confidence in number 1. I'm interested to see what Pugs is thinking. Because Pugs is always big brain in this. I'm interested. If you haven't already, the poll is up. It's at the top of your chat. Make sure you are in there. For those of you that are going to be voting here, if you vote, you could be winning a $10 gift card to Steam, PlayStation Store, Xbox. You choose, and we'll send it to you. $10. Also, by the way, tell me how does he pay for all this? Well, this is from our merch store, and enjoy the little clip we have here from that. Make sure if you have not already, make sure that you have voted. I voted 1 since I think Raven talked about 1 pregnancy. I could have mentioned a second one during their TLDR. Interesting. It would be an interesting one. I swear they said that they had 2 kids. But I'm also like ADHD minded. I can't remember.
I feel that.
Sophie, unfortunately, you cannot get an age check. Maybe after, but as of right now, we have to go with the facts that we have been provided. I appreciate you trying to big brain that though, Sophie. I'm going off of ADHD intuition. Yeah, that's aren't we all, Pugs? So number 1, if you haven't voted, is that they have 2 kids. Number 2 is that they have a bat tattoo on their ribcage. Number 3 is that they've had a tumor removed from their spine. I'm just so interested in this one because a lot of people are saying the spine is the real one. Everyone's saying that's going to be the real one. But however, we've got bamboozled by Bear before, and this same kind of technique happened with Bear, where everyone voted 1, and it was actually the one that no one voted for. One being the neurodivergent family, really though.
Feel that on a deeply personal level.
Really though. Okay, so chat is saying number 1. They've decided number 1 is their lie. That you do not have 2 kids. That is indeed a lie. Whether that be maybe more or less, but that is definitely made a lie. The spine would be my second choice because it's the most specific. I agree. So we have learned before is that when someone specifies a little too much, it means that they're capital usually. Sometimes. But we could also say that same thing for number 3 though, Pugs, as well. That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe number 3 was lie because maybe it wasn't the spine. Maybe it was somewhere else. CB? Exactly. So, chat has decided. Now I need to decide. And this is a hard one because I kind of want to go with chat because chat's like seem a little confident today. Chat's got a little like oomph going to it, you know? Maybe I should do that again.
You might want to get that looked at. I'm just saying, you know.
I say these every stream and lose. Also, I was talking about number 3. Okay. Y'all are not helping me here today. Okay, so chat has said number 1. I'm going to veer off the beaten path a little bit today. No, you're not going to go with chat. I'm going to go with number 3. I'm going to say number 3 is the lie. Raven, will you please confirm or deny, is the lie the tumor being removed from your spine?
It is not. I actually had that done in 2018. I had a lipoma, so it's basically like a pocket of fat that kind of grows too big. And it was on my L2, L3 spinous process, so the bones that actually stick out. It was putting a lot of pressure on there. Even though it wasn't massive, it was enough to wreak havoc on my system. And I had that removed. Yeah.
Okay. You guys are all safe. VIPs, you can breathe. However, is chat right? Do you indeed not have only 2 kids or have 2 kids?
I have 2 kids, yeah. I have a 7-year-old boy and I have a 2-year-old girl.
Damn. We all got rolled here.
I do have a tattoo here, but it is not of a bat.
Okay. Impressive, Raven. I will give you that to you. We get to live another day, really though. Claps all around for Raven getting that one.
See?
Impressive. See, that's why I should always listen to my girlfriend. You know, probably get me in trouble less too.
Wait, I want to know, Allie. How did you know? I need to know these things. I'm very nosy.
Girlfriend is always right. Really though, man, 100%. You're exactly. Mom's right too. What the?
Yeah, Mom.
Whole family. Just a vibe guess. Okay. So what? Sorry, what did you say was on the ribcage? What is the tattoo on the ribcage?
It is a skull and crossbones that says "for blood and honor."
Okay. That one was a good one. It was just subtle enough that it wasn't like didn't pique interest. It was a good one. I'll give you that.
Thanks.
When you pointed at first, I thought you were gonna say like I have a tramp stamp of a bat. Like it's like
no,
cool. Like
no, nope. I'm a classy heathen. All right.
Okay.
Just kidding. It's your body. Do what you want. I don't care. But it's not for me.
It's not a bat. It's a raven. So there obviously we found out there's a little bit of truth in the tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
We found out that we were really wrong. I think this is the first time since the Sweet Mango episode that everyone. Oh, actually, well, I didn't choose against them, but I think this might actually be another history of connections of where we've been bamboozled, both the chat and I going different directions. So claps all around to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hats off to you there, Raven. Good job.
Appreciate it.
Impressive.
Thank you.
So that is To Choose One Lie. This is the part of the show when we get a little bit deeper. But I see that we have some new friends in here. And I thought, well, I saw that B was a little bit upset that she didn't get to see the announcement. So I figured maybe we'll run it one more time. We'll take a little quick breather. We'll let the announcement run, and then we'll come back and we're gonna do some deep questions. We're gonna learn some deeper kind of things about you. But I want B's here. B's the homie. B has class. Is B even here? Hello, B. Am I doing this for the people who've been here and already seen it? However, B, if you're here.
Well, I think B has class.
Yeah, rather the announcement is B Luke's class. You know what? I'm here. Okay. Well, sorry, Professor. I'm the teacher now. Missed the announcement too. Well, you know what? There we go. We got enough people here that are missing announcement. That's enough for me. We're going to run the promo. Enjoy.
Heck yeah.
Boa, I need you to choose one person to be on the next episode of Who Are You?
People that I really think deserves to be on it. And I'm going to go with Mitch with 1L.
For those of you that have watched Who Are You in October, I think November Who Are You will surprise you. We've updated some of the rules and some of the games to better accommodate the viewers and the contestants. What is stacked lined up? Huh?
Stacked. I love that word for the wrong reasons. I said what I said.
Low-key proud mom moment. Really, we got an amazing show. It's gonna be very, very exciting. This is for November 9th at 4 p.m. I hope you'll join us. Pacific time. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna do this all again.
Time of the Pacifics.
Yeah, it's the Pacific Ocean time.
Perf.
If you guys will join us, that's gonna be on November 9th, Pacific time, 4 p.m. Translate however you'd like. We're going to be having a lot of announcement in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, !Discord, get yourself in there. We're going to be doing a lot of fun things coming up in very, very soon. The whole calendar for November is going to be coming out very, very soon on everything. So if you want to follow on Twitter, that's usually the first place I post that on is Twitter. My brain is melting. So, however, if you guys are here, this is the part of the show. I'm actually in Antarctica. What's the time zone? That's on you there. B. You can figure that one out. You're So we're gonna go through the deep questions of the show. We're not gonna throw you off the deep end, but I mean, hey, if you drag us there, that's on you. My first question, and I usually start off with like an easier one, just kind of easy into it. What helps you decompress?
I write a lot.
Interesting.
I write a lot. I have a bunch of like very short stories and poems and things like that really personify what I'm feeling at that time. So that definitely helps me. And kind of just coexisting with people where like we're in the same space, but we don't necessarily have to talk. You know what I mean? Like I have a small group of people that I'm able to do that with because I'm comfortable with them. And we kind of just like maybe we'll play something together, maybe we're playing something different. Be it like here, even though, you know, it's still a panini out there, so we don't really do it in my house. Yes, I said it.
No wonder you and my girlfriend get along because she calls it that all the time.
Yeah, it's a panorama. You don't know that? Come on. Anyway, so but like I'll sit in Discord or Guilded with people and we'll just kind of be there. And I think for me that's very comforting because I've had to train myself not to feel compelled to say something and fill that space at all times.
That's good. I think with ADHD, at least for myself, my personal opinion, is that something that's definitely relatable because it's so easy to get like uncomfortable with silence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I've had to learn to be comfortable with. And that kind of part of being alone, it's still learning. But I think it's nice to have people to help you go through it because it doesn't make it feel as lonely.
Yes.
I think like it's things like it like kind of similar to you is we've had our Discord where I hung out with Donovan, with B, with the rest Malty and Tiggs and the rest of the mods, or we just kind of just sit there and we might not even talk for 20 minutes. Like we just opened in our Discord, we opened the study room, which literally is a muted chat, no one can talk. Just hang out there. Just chill. And it's
just nice to know that somebody is nearby.
Exactly. And it's as someone with ADHD, it's really comfortable to have people with you that you can be quiet with. Pugs, exactly.
Yes. It is. And I think a lot of that is because we overexert our social energy. So we're always seen as being very extroverted. And I know I can do both, but I prefer like quieter, like more intimate spaces. I can do the go out, be around people and enjoy myself, but I know that I have a tendency to get overwhelmed. And I don't know if this happens with you, but like when I'm out and about, like I'm okay with noise. But like in my bubble, right? Like in my space, if there's a lot of noise, I freak the fuck out. Like it is so overstimulating. So when I am able to kind of just decompress and be with people who understand that I am neurodivergent and like don't feel like they need to fill space, I think it's really special. I think it's really special.
I think so. As far as kind of what I've related or like when related to is it very similar. Is if there's even if it's my own comfort of my own home, if there's too much going on, brain goes off. And as Donovan will say and has said many times, you can visually see me click off and go and like
Yeah.
you just see the flat line go blank.
Yep.
And I literally have to either tell people to stop talking and I just need a second, or turn off things, whatever it may be. Something has to stop, or like I'm like frozen in time for a second.
Yeah. I get very angry and I'm like, I have to take 5 minutes and I walk away because if I don't, I'm going to snap because anger is very easy for me.
Yeah.
So I just walk away. But yeah, I'm glad I'm not alone in that.
No, I think it's definitely something that's or at least something I've related to, and it seems like some people in chat have relate to that as well. But I will say though is I've learned recently. I have to remind Brendan to slow down and catch your breath. Sometimes he has too much coming in and gets overstimulated. It's true. Donovan is basically like the Brendan whisperer. I've noticed though is that I'm starting to get a lot more overstimulated outside of my own house because we've been in a panini for so long. I don't go outside from work and do anything. This is my life. Is like I hang out with friends, whether it be in Discord, whether it's meeting them on connections, wherever it may be. I don't go to that. And I went out to one of my first ever hockey games 2 weeks ago, I think it was. And I went home like halfway through because it was so overstimulated. It was just too much.
Yeah.
And it was just uncomfortable. It was weird.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, it was kind of a strange one. Hello, Highlish. Welcome into the stream here.
Highlish, that's my best friend.
Aw. Well, hi, Highlish. Welcome in. We're so glad to have you. Thank you for joining us today. It's wonderful to meet you. We have a question of the day, by the way. We want to learn a little bit more about you today, if possible. If you're interested, if not, that's okay. This is a lurking type of stream. However, our question of the day today is, what is a secret hobby or skill that most people would not know about you? I'd love to hear it in the chat if you were interested. If not, that's okay. You can just hang out in here and that's all good too. We are on the deep questions side of things, so it might be a little heavy here, and I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable here, just to put that out there. But we're going to be talking about real topics. We're not getting into this foo-foo fake shit.
How do you wipe your ass type shit? I am not over that. I am not over that.
It makes me memorable, doesn't it? I'm a pro at over 1,200 plus puzzle pieces. I do them almost every Monday. Yo, how do you wipe your ass? Yo,
listen.
Eyelash, you'll have to watch it back. What's up, Flim Flam Flam? What's up? My favorite name to say. Hello with the little wave. You're using the wave. I love it.
Flim Flam. That is fun. That is fun.
That's my favorite word.
Okay, well, it's been real. I'm just kidding.
Just disappear into the darkness. Poof. Going on to kind of the next questions here.
Sure.
Let's see here. What has been the peak and the pit of your streaming or content creating career?
I think honestly, I'm kind of in the pit.
Okay.
And like people wouldn't think that. And we'll get back to that in a second. But my peak was probably really making change, like tangible change with people. I think it is so important to do because silence is violence for a lot of us, and to see so many people really like using their voices, using their platforms to say, no, this is not okay. Like, we should not be able to treat people this way was amazing for me. And to know that I had a hand in that felt really good. Because let's be honest, Twitch is literally just a reflection of our society. So people could say, oh, well, it's Twitch. Like, you're a bunch of spoiled this and that and yada, yada, yada. We're not, because we get treated like this no matter where we are. But I think I'm in the pit because now, there's a lot of people who I had surrounded myself with for years who have left me because once they saw the purple check mark next to my name, I made it. And I think that's been hard for me to process because I don't try to create friendships or form bonds or connections, if you will, for networking purposes. Like I'm genuinely trying to put myself out there to be a friend. Obviously I know sometimes it's like acquaintance, and that's cool too because not everybody's gonna vibe. And I'm more than okay with that, but like I never do things in a way that is disingenuous. That's the word. Disingenuous. Um, because keeping up appearances and lying about shit is exhausting. Um, and then I have, on the other hand, a bunch of people who are trying to like get in my good graces because they think that I'm going to be able to do something for them. Um, and then realizing that a lot of the people who, found me were only there because I was a Jerry Springer episode for the moment. And they, you know, were very into Black trauma. But as soon as I start, thriving in other ways, like they're not there. So I'm in this weird sense of purgatory where I don't know necessarily where I fit, and I'm not trying to fit in, right? Um because life's too short, but my inner circle has dwindled down to two people. Um and that's hard for me because I know I have issues processing abandonment because of, my youth. Um so it's been a struggle, and I'm getting better. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm not internalizing it, but it's hard not to because I literally my identity is and always has been what I can do for others. And so now it's like, but Raven, who are you? Who are you really? Outside of what you can do for other people, who are you? And so it's a little bit of a struggle right now.
It's totally valid. And I think it's so easy as someone like me or someone that's sitting in the chat to be like, oh, partner check mark, they must be fine. Like,
Yeah.
and I think it's so easy to kind of jump on that train of, well, things are going up, things are positive, things are booming. I mean, they tweet something and it's getting like a bunch of likes and a bunch of retweets. That's so awesome. They're at the top of that. But I mean, those are just little numbers on a screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is cool. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as value goes, it's hard, especially if you don't have people you don't feel like you have people in your corner.
Yeah. It's very isolating. And I don't think people understand that. Like, people talk about the partner curse. It's real. It's real. Because you end up finding yourself in this space where you're like, yeah, like people are happy for me. I want to celebrate with these people who allowed me to be in this position. And half of those people are gone.
Interesting.
So, and it's something that, we don't really talk about. And so, like, yeah, I heard of it, but like, okay. Like you hear of things and like, if it doesn't stick to you or if it has no meaning to you in that moment, chances are you're not going to retain it.
Can you explain the partner curse? Because this is the first time I've actually heard of the partner curse, and so I'm a little bit interested.
So, yeah, the partner curse is a lot of the times new partners, they work so hard to get their metrics and everything, their channel up to date, and like make sure that they hit those markers. And then when they do and they apply and they get accepted, the first stream is like, yeah, you did it. And then people stop showing up because you made it. That's literally how people see it. Like if you make partner, then you made it. You're better off than me. It's nothing more than a check mark. You know what I mean? I am still struggling to pay my bills. I am not financially sound. I can't really take time off, because if I do, then it is going to affect my, you know, my rent and food for my kids and clothes for my kids and medical bills and medicines. And then on top of that, it's like people now try to like warm up to you because you have the check mark for the wrong reasons, right? So it's like, what am I supposed to do? Because I don't like shutting off to people. I really don't. Like, that's not who I am, because I want to be able to inspire people. That is my purpose, right? My purpose is to inspire, is to build people up, because we are going to be the change we need, and is to make shit better for the younger generations, right? Like, that is my purpose. Or the purpose at least I've given myself, because let's face it, like, we are all very tiny infinitesimal specks on a rock floating in this vast nothingness. But it's a very isolating feeling. So,
Would you almost urge creators that are at the point of partnership or consistently are hitting that part of partnership where they could apply for partnership, maybe say no to it? Or would you?
I think it's a personal choice. Like, I wouldn't undo it, right? Because again, going back to being spiteful, I applied for partnership because a lot of people told me that because I was so vocal, I wasn't going to get it. And I know there's a lot of other black and brown people and femme presenting people in this space who are told the very same fucking thing. So I did it to be spiteful. I'm making a fucking point. Tell me that I'm not going to do something, and I'm going to do it. Because we deserve to exist in this space as we are. If I'm an asshole, tell me I'm an asshole because you don't like what I'm saying, or I'm treating you poorly, right? Don't tell me that I don't deserve shit that I've worked for because I am black or I happen to have boobs. Like, don't tell me that shit, because that's not a defining factor. I think it is a very individual choice. I think, in this space, we are taught to grind, to hustle, to grind, to get those numbers. Because once you make those numbers and you get partner, it's all uphill from there. It's not. You just have to be ready to put in the work, because partner is not the end game. It is a milestone. It's a checkpoint. It's not end game. So
I can definitely agree with that. I have seen, it almost would be better if Twitch made you maintain those things to keep that check mark, because I've seen multiple creators with 1-digit viewers with a check mark. At some point they grinded and they worked hard for it. And maybe it was comfortable, maybe it was a break, maybe it was something else, maybe life just fucking happened, because that's what happens. And I mean, that's okay, as long as things all work out behind the scenes, stuff like that. But it's interesting. I've never heard of that, the partner curse, but I can definitely see how real that really is, because it's almost like, oh, well, you made it, peace out type of thing. And I definitely see that. And also I've seen certain partners kind of just like, or partner streamers, and they're so, when I've reached out to them, they're so worried because they don't know what you're coming to them for. You were the first partner that I have reached out to that has been super open. It was messages back and forth. I would have had total respect even if you said, hey, like, it's not something I'm really interested in though, but thanks for the message. Cool. At least you give me the time of day to say something. It wasn't just like, I'm fucking better than you. Bye. Like, you know what I mean? And that's not how you are. And I know that obviously now. But off the first message, I don't know who I'm messaging any single time. Like, I have an idea of who I'm messaging, and I have a kind of idea of how they talk on stream and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I can't see that real person. I could be like blindsided later and find out that
Mhm.
they're a total asshole and
Yeah.
don't know. And that's the thing is I never know. But I will say I've reached out to, off the top of my head, I can think of 3 other partner streamers that I've reached out to come on here. Some of which has even vocally said that they would come on Connections. And once I get to a message, there's no response at all. And I understand life gets in the way. That's fine.
Mhm.
That's totally fine. But a message of, hey, like, I just didn't want to be uncomfortable on the stream. I didn't want to say this on
Mhm.
stream and then that. I would totally understood. I get it.
Yeah.
We're all in this space. I mean, like, some people are pushing up a persona more than others. And that's okay. Like, if that's what gets you the views and that's what kind of your content is, that's fine. And this is probably not the show for you if that's who you want to be and you want to keep that persona to a standard. But that's why I have like utmost respect for anyone who will sit in this hot seat that you're sitting in and actually listen to the questions, answer them like very honestly. And as soon as this camera turns off, you don't just flip the script and you're like, all right, fuck you, bye, like sort of thing. And you said it
I
open
don't have
us.
time for that.
That's called, and I mean, me neither. But I think what's it called is open and honestly is that you are, like you said, it's that looking for that friendship and looking for those kind
Mhm.
of like people who are going to help you build yourself up and so yeah. And hey, I'm here to help you out with that stuff. Like I mean, whether you want just like personal things or whether you want things that are like stream related. I mean, hey, I'm not a partner streamer, so who am I? But that's I was kidding. But hey, if you want like even tips for stream things, like I have ideas that since I've watched yours and like things like that. But there's a reason why you have a check mark beside your name, and it's not just because you spoke up against something that's wrong. I'm sure that's a good part of it because you are someone who is so inspirational on that side of things.
Thank you.
But I think there's also on the other side of it is this the side of just being an interesting person and having a very open personality and not just being a bullshitter. And I think whether you're a partner, you're just an affiliate, whatever you may be, and if you're a content creator that bullshits your way to the top, everything will come crashing down at some point. You might make it all the way to the top. Look at some of the biggest creators in the world on this and on YouTube in this space. A lot of them got canceled. I'm thinking like someone like a Shane Dawson, for instance, is one of the names that pops off the top of my head right off the rip. Like you can be peak top. I would even go as far as saying like someone like Shane Dawson peaked like 3 or 4 times at least. And still, if it's not real, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
There's whether it is internally or externally, it's not going to work. And I think the people that maybe don't make it as big are the ones who get it internally. Because it's just too much. It's just too much, and yeah. I don't know. Like I don't want to get stuck on this too much, but it's I think that's kind of like my take on it is. I think you're doing a great job. I think there is. I feel bad for you that you feel like this is your pet, but I think it's because you're realizing that, or I feel like what I'm seeing is that it's more or less the kind of the tail end of what was such an amazing movement. That was such a positive movement and maybe is kind of getting construed into a negative way now by people who have taken it out of terms and out of kind of where it is. And I think the new kind of thing that the next journey or next chapter for Raven is coming up soon. So stay tuned. Exclamation mark guest if you haven't already. Go follow our guest too. If you
Oh, thanks.
Hi. It is me.
Me.
On to my next question here, and you've kind of given me a little bit of insight, but I want to see what we get out of this. How happy are you right now?
You know, it could be better. It could be better. I think, from what I've seen, a lot of people are experiencing some major burnout this time of year, and it is like there's a lot, especially like in this space, like there's a lot of charity. We just went through this massive thing, like it's a lot for everybody, and I don't know that we've all taken enough time to process. I know personally right now I'm dealing with some stuff that is uncomfortable. Like my son has ADHD too, and we butt heads all the time. And like we're at the point where he is just kind of talking sideways to everybody all the time. And I'm trying to teach him that his neurodivergency isn't his fault, but it is his responsibility. So that's put a lot of strain on things in the house, you know? I'm not unhappy, right? Um, but I'm not at a point of like squealing with joy. Woo. You know, like I'm kind of just processing, I think is the best way I can say that. Because I just lost my grandma about a week ago. So, um I'm processing to the best of my ability.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. So, that's where I'm at.
Thank you for all the spam and the love, guys, in the chat there. That's what we love to see. That's the exact time. Processing is a good answer. I agree,
I love
Lash.
you. I love you, hi Lash.
So obviously there's been, you talked a lot of things that, I mean, back and forth here about things that you've kind of been proud of, things that you are, things that maybe you weren't, you wish you, like things that you had gone through, that past traumas and stuff like that. We've learned a little bit about you so far. But what I'm wondering is, what is one thing that you are proud of about yourself?
Being here. Because there was a couple of times that I almost wasn't, by, you know, somebody else's doing, my doing. Ooh, don't like that. Don't like feeling things. Don't like feeling things. But being here. Because I've seen and I've been through some really horrific things that I don't wish on anybody. But I made it. I made it, you know? Like, there are so many people who have been in my situation or in a similar situation who haven't. And the fact that I can sit here with you is amazing, you know? And I think that's what makes me, you know, proudest. I think it's a testament to my character, not to knock anybody because I know it's hard, but like, I'm stronger than I give myself credit for a lot of the time. So. Not me crying. Okay, here we are. Good thing I keep tissues on my desk.
Oh, it's okay to cry. This you would not be the first one to cry on this show, and as B said, I am proud of you too. I think it's that is something to be very proud of. And I was gonna say too, I've never seen that love get moved that fast and spam that much.
Oh my gosh.
Since then.
Now my nose is crying. Why?
Yeah, we're clearing this cold today.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think that is definitely a big accomplishment to be here and be proud of yourself for that, and to make such a positive outlook on things and push things in a positive direction in reference to like the Twitch things and stuff like that. And after having to go through the things that you've had to go through is really impressive, and something you definitely should be proud of, and to give yourself a pat on the back for, because I don't think many people will be as able to hold themselves up and together after going through all the stuff that you have. And it's very impressive, very inspirational. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you for being so vulnerable with us too.
Thanks, guys.
That's it's the beauty of connections is what I like, is how vulnerable people can feel they can be, and which is awesome. That's exactly what I want to do. I want to provide a safe space where people can feel open to share stories like that and things like that. And so, which we'll keep going on. But yeah, no, thank you. What life-changing event have you experienced? We've heard of a couple so far. So maybe you want to choose one, maybe you want to focus in on one. It is totally up to you. However you want to go with this.
Almost losing my life in childbirth, I think, is the biggest one. Because as a kid, like, things happen to you and you don't really know, like, you can't really put it together. So, like, by the time you're able to actually understand what the fuck happened, like, you're older and, like, you have, it's you're kind of removed from it sometimes. Um, but yeah, I think nearly losing my life in childbirth was such a defining moment for me because I had a really hard pregnancy to begin with, and, like, there was a point where I was in the last, like, month and a half or so, and, like, I was doing my weekly visits, and from one week to the next, I had gained about 17 pounds. And I was swollen, and that is typically preeclampsia, which is, high blood pressure or whatever. But they did blood work and they're like, "No, you're fine." And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm not fine. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm not okay. The fact that, like, my legs look like tree trunks means that something's going on. But I didn't push it because, unfortunately, there's a lot of medical bias towards, people of color. Um, so by the time I was set to be induced because I was massive, um, like, I was in labor for about 36 hours before they were like, "Well, I mean, we can kind of stay here, like, you're fine, or we can." I was like, "No, get this fucking baby out. Like, I'm done. Take take this little girl, get her the fuck out. I don't care. Evict. We're evicting right now." So, I went in to the operating table, and I process drugs super fast. I don't know why. I just do. That's what my body does. And I had this issue before with my son where they, like, would give me the stuff. They gave me a spinal block, and, like, I wouldn't feel anything from the neck down, but after, like, every so often, like, it would wear off and I would feel it. Same thing happened. Um so they were kind of giving me stuff to, like, you know, numb everything because I was like, "Hey, listen, what's going on?" Um, and then they took her out, they showed her to me, and then alarms started going off. Um, they showed her to me, and I was awake. I have two pictures that were taken one after the other. And, like, I was holding her face to my face. And then the next one I was out. I was out. And I was fading in and out of consciousness. And I just kept hearing, like, these alarms, like these machines going off, and I had no idea what was going on. And my body started going into shock on the operating table, like, I was shaking uncontrollably. Um, and I had a fever, like, I had 103 fever after I started bleeding out because, basically what happened is it's something called a, um, postpartum hemorrhage. Um And that's basically like when they remove the baby, like, something goes wrong and there's just, you know, a lot of blood going. Anyway, um, for somebody that was so close to death, I remember so much and I remember nothing. Like, for me, there was no, like, go into the light, like, there was none of that. It was just my eyes were open 1 second and then the next there was just darkness and I wasn't there. But I could hear my daughter crying. and I could hear the machines going off. And I didn't know what was going on. I was out of my mind, you know what I mean? But they didn't transfer me to the mother and baby unit. They kept me on the same floor in a room right across from the operating room. And I had no idea what was going on. And it wasn't until the day after that the nurse had said that I lost about a third to a quarter of my body's blood content. It took me a really long time to look at those pictures. And like I don't physically hear those things, but like the memories are still so vivid. And I don't think those will ever go away.
Mhm.
And that was the moment that things changed. At first for the worst, but then it got better. I don't wish that on anybody, but that's something that I'm grateful for as well. Because it taught me that life is so finite. And that it's so fleeting. You lose family members and it feels different, or you lose close friends and it feels different, but when you're in that seat, it hits different. I knocked on death's door, and I'm still fucking here. And I'm proud of that, and I'm happy that that has taught me so much. You know, like after it first happened, there was a lot of like hate and fear, and like my PTSD was so bad that like my daughter fell and like busted her lip, like, you know, fucking toddlers do, and I spiraled because I was for sure that she was going to die that night. And you can tell me different. But I got the help I needed, you know? Being diagnosed and treated for ADHD helps because ADHD makes every other thing that you can possibly have mentally infinitely worse. But I'm happy to be able to share things like this. Because I know there's somebody out there who's going to feel less alone. So, I keep saying so when I'm done. I don't know.
Okay.
That's a nervous tick of mine.
Yeah, it's kind of funny is that you say that before I go into kind of what I was gonna say. Is that a lot of people, because I have to edit all these things, it's either so, like, or but which is kind of
That
funny.
was that was my nervous tick.
Right? That's all good. Um, that's crazy, and that's exactly why this show is so near and dear to my heart. I don't call this show like content as much. This is to me a passion project.
Mhm.
I love this so much because I know how much hearing stories from people all around the world, how that can someone else can relate. Maybe not
Mhm.
directly, maybe not 100%, but you can relate to that sort of thing. Going through similar things, whether maybe it has been something about being a person of color, or maybe it's something about being a parent, and maybe it's the first time that something's ever happened. Maybe there's so many different little parts of it. I felt very choked up when I saw the first tear roll down your face. I was like, oh my god. And
Yeah, it's
I don't
hard.
get choked up easily.
It's hard. It's still hard for me to talk about. Like, I don't think I will ever get to a point of not feeling that moment when I talk about it.
Mhm.
It's literally life-changing. And when it happens to you when you're old enough to understand what's happening to you, it fucking hits different. It is what it is, like none of us are ever going to leave this world unscathed at all. We're going to have scars, be them, physical scars, mental scars, they're there. We should just accept them, embrace them. I know it's hard to do because I'm still trying to accept and embrace mine, but I think it's important.
Yes, it's very important. I think and talking about it definitely alleviates that kind of power it holds, or at least for
Mhm.
me, it does. Is
Mhm.
is I never realized the strength that uh, talking took away from my anxiety, for instance. Once I started opening up, and I'm not saying it was easy. It was fucking hard, like
Mhm.
really hard to be like, hey, I'm not doing okay. And even those words to me, like, make me feel kind of weird to say that. And like, I it really took kind of this journey essentially to kind of be like, who am I to tell others to take care of themselves when I don't do the same for myself?
Mhm.
And that's been something I've really gotten to learn and process. And I've been so fortunate to have such an amazing team, Multi, Tiggs, Donovan, Bardley, I'll add into that too. And I'm not, that's not even including like the friends that I've made from doing this,
Mhm.
that of like the streamers that I've met doing this. That's just including like what I would call basically my closest best friends. And
Mhm.
I'm so fortunate for those people that basically have reminded me when I'm at my lowest that, hey, like, you got this. It's gonna be okay. This is a momentarily kind of thing that you're gonna get through. It's not easy. Of course not. It's not meant to be easy.
Mhm.
But you got this. You'll process, as you said, and I like that word. I
Mhm.
really like that word. That might be one of my favorite words, Raven, is process, because I think that is a good describing word for what I think a lot of people are doing, whether that is
Mhm.
maybe with this whole panini, or maybe that's in with mental health, is actually just processing and getting a little more comfortable.
Yeah, I think people need to get rid of this ideal that everything is supposed to be comfortable, right? Um, to be uncomfortable is how we grow. And that is a necessity. We need to change and we need to evolve because we are uncomfortable. Because as soon as we get complacent, that's when shit happens and when we feel least prepared. Change is not a bad thing. Being uncomfortable is not a bad thing. And I think really feeling that has helped me substantially, right? Because I know that after all this settles, I'm going to come out a better person, a better human. I'm cool with that.
Something to be cool with. We do have a question from one of the lovely viewers here today.
Sure.
It's from the lovely Malty. Malty always has some great questions here. And
Malty.
as he's as he puts in the start too, I usually ask some interesting follow-up questions during these things, but I'm pretty speechless right now. All I can think of is this. With all you've been through, is there one specific thing / lesson you want viewers to remember from tonight? And what would it be?
Be exactly who you are and don't feel shame for that. And don't allow people to tell you who you need to be. Because you will be happiest, even when you're uncomfortable, when you are doing it and walking through this world as you.
You unapologetically.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think it's funny. There was actually a edit that I just recently did about the episode that we had with our lovely guest Happy, who's going to be on Who Are You in November. And one of the statements he said is that after his friend passed away, his biggest thing was, I'm going to be me, whatever that means, unapologetically.
Yeah.
And I choose how that happens, not anyone else. And I think
Yeah.
it's a great statement to live by. It's
Yes.
beautiful. No, it's great. As we get into before we get into this next question, hello all the new people who've joined in here. I see Damien, I see Roxanne, I see Jacko. I feel like I'm missing someone in here. There's one more person in here that I'm missing. I know there is. Thank you to anyone who's in here. I can't find that name. If I swear I saw a name that was Tiggs is back. Tiggs, that might be the one I was thinking of. Thank you all for hanging out with us today. We appreciate it as always. Maybe you'll have a little bit more of a term in terms of this answer, considering you kind of, like you said, you kind of felt you've kind of knocked on death's door. So if you died tonight, what would you regret not doing?
Spending more time with my kids. Because I'm always tired. I'm always tired. And so I do what I can, but like right now I'm super busy too, and I know that in the long run it's a good thing, right? Because I need to work in order to make money so that way they have a life. But it's that double-edged sword. How much is too much on either end? So it's finding that balance, but I would say spending more time with my kids.
I'm sure it's a hard line to walk. It's something that I've never had to go through. I don't have any input on it because it's not something I've ever had to endure, but I'm sure it's not easy. I know how much my mom pushes. Mama Lisa, she comes to every single stream to spend time with her kids, and she's very vocal about that. She always wants to spend time with us, and that could be literally anything. She doesn't care. She'll go rock climbing. That means she gets to hang out with us. Like, and just a kind of little side note for those of you that don't know my mom has had a stroke, so I mean that probably wouldn't be the smartest idea, but she would still do it if it meant her were happy, and I know she would. There wouldn't be a second guess at it. Doctors would tell her no, she'd be like, screw it, I'm going, because that's my mom, and I think it's hard to play that role of how can I balance? Can I do this, like, take care of me, but also take care of my kids and put them first when it's what I want to do versus what I really probably should do / but I want to do this, and it's back and forth, and I couldn't imagine.
It's hard. It's hard. It's such a fine line because I do set time, during the week just to have time with each of one of them individually, to have time together. Like we'll do family stuff, and then, I'll build Legos with my son if he's into that for the moment, or we play Valheim together. Like that's been something that we do. And like with my daughter, she's still little, so she just likes to dance and get in trouble. So, I love them. They're turds. I love them dearly. Okay? Like I don't have to like them to love them. Just saying.
Okay.
I'm telling you, like I love them with all my soul. I would jump in front of like a moving train and everything for them. But children are terrible.
Hey, but they're your turds.
They listen, and yes, okay? I love them. But I genuinely would just like to be able to have more time. So I'm working on that, but I also know that I have to do work. Like if they are to have a life in this capitalistic society, I know I have to do work.
If only there was more hours in this day.
Yeah, or like multiple of me. That would be no, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
The world can't handle more than one of me. Let's be honest. That's a scary thought.
A lot of big energy
You
going
want a
around.
real horror movie? Put two of me in the same room.
Someone wouldn't make it out of that room.
No, you are right. You are right.
You've gone through a lot of things that you've told us about. You've been very open and vulnerable with us throughout this whole episode. So I'm interested to kind of see where you've gone with this. And obviously you've told us, you've had a lot of people tell you that you can't do things, stuff like that. So I'm going to spin that around and ask you what is the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
It came from a video, if I'm honest. It's the uncomfortable thing. There was a rabbi who, this video is old, where he was talking about a lobster, and when his shell gets too tight and he becomes uncomfortable, he has to shut it to make room for the new shell. And that really opened my eyes and changed my outlook on a lot of things. That was the start of my journey to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's something that I try to teach out a lot too, because, you know, as humans, we're so scared of failure, but failure is not a bad thing. It just means that what you tried didn't work, right? That's it. That, like, if we break it down into layman's terms, that's literally what it means. You tried something, it didn't work the way you wanted to, in the time frame you wanted to, whatever. So that door's closed. Now you know that that doesn't work, so you can spend time and energy on what might. Failure's not a bad thing at all.
So I'm going to spin this. These are
Sure.
questions I haven't asked since probably like the first 5 episodes of Connections. Been like almost vaulted this question, but I kept it on here for some reason. And I think this is the reason is coming out today. A lot of people who have been here for a while haven't even probably heard this question, or at least me ask this question before. But it has stayed on here for a while. Are you more afraid of success or failure, and why?
Success. Oh, easily success. I think I'm more afraid of that because I'm not used to it. And I don't know how to handle it. And I've been conditioned to believe that my success is not mine. That scares me more than being told to fuck off. Because there's a part of me that, like, when people are like, oh, Raven, like, you're so cool. Like, I love you. Thank you for being so amazing. There's a part of me that's like, they really do know who you are, right? Because that's not what you are. I know where it comes from. I know where it comes from because I could psychoanalyze myself all day. And it stems to the root for people pleasing. It stems to me literally going up to my biological mother to show her something that I made for her slapping it out of my hand and punching me in the face. I was 5. That's where it stems from. Me doing something good scares me. I grew up in such an environment that I was so used to being told that I was shit and I was never going to be anything that it felt comfortable. So yeah, success is fucking scary to me. And I'm trying to break that cycle at 32. It's wild. Gosh. Sorry. Yeah, I was actually very, like, I don't know why that question excited me. I was like, yeah, no, absolutely success. Because I've literally been just talking about this a lot lately. And I have an appointment with my therapist tomorrow who literally called me out and dragged me through the mud for all of this. And I was like, listen, I did not sign up for this today. Thank you. Goodbye. And she just started laughing at me. But yeah, I was conditioned to accept failure. So being told that I am good freaks me the fuck out.
You have gotten better at it, I can tell.
I'm trying.
When you feel it's real, you've done a better at doing it. Because I've seen both me and Bear both compliment you, and I can tell you from knowing Bear, and obviously I can tell you from me knowing me, is of course sincere.
You know you?
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, sometimes. It is very sincere, and I think you've realized that it's not us blowing smoke up your ass because we want something. It's because we truly believe that you're doing something very, very meaningful and impressive, and will continue to, I'm sure. I'm sorry if I say this shit to you, though.
I'm just like, it's funny because the way, like, I can tell you the thought process that I just had, right? Like, I heard it and I was like, yeah, okay. And I was like, no, wait, stop. He's being genuine. Like, you have to say thank you because that's the right thing to do and accept it. And that's what happened in that
Mm.
moment. And I'm trying. I'm trying. It's hard.
I told this to someone, I can't remember, because it was either, it might have even been you, but it's someone recently I spoke to about this. Oh, and you know what? It was Andy Righteous, who might be in the chat still. I know was in here earlier. We met earlier this month, and I said I'm not someone to bullshit. I'm someone who's blunt and honest, and that gets me in a lot of trouble sometimes. But I'm not changing that, not for no one. Because what I know is that when I say something like a compliment to someone, I know that people take that more genuine than if I just said that to everyone. If I said, "Oh, you're so amazing," well, you said that about the last person. That person wasn't as amazing as you really thought. Like, and so it's been something that I've been able to learn is almost a superpower in a sense, is being able to kind of do that, and it's something that really excites me. It's really awesome.
I like that.
I got a couple more questions.
Great, Bren.
Thanks, B, for the doing great, Bren. The actually, didn't we meet Andy in the last connection fight? We did after the raid. Exactly, Damien. We got a couple more. I'm trying to keep us on time here. I don't want us to go too far into this. It's been a lovely conversation, but maybe we want to leave them with wanting some more, you know?
Hey.
Here's right? Here's my thing. So obviously you've been quite the advocating for people on Twitch, creators of Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to flip the script on you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You were the head of Twitch. What is one and only one feature that you could add to Twitch's ecosystem that would benefit them both financially and socially?
Fixing the fucking API.
Explain.
That shit hasn't been updated in years. The fuck you mean? How do you think people are exploiting this shit? Because it's easy to do. I would have been fixed that shit. Listen, I'm sorry, I got real black. I'm not sorry for that. Let's be honest. I'm not sorry for that. Y'all want like security because we just saw the leak that just happened, right? Like we did see that. And then we saw all the bot accounts that were being created. You gotta fix the fucking foundation if you want to build a fucking house that is stable. Fix the API. That's it. Period. Drop the mic. Boom. Yeah.
Fair. That was a quicker answer than I thought we were gonna go through, but that's I mean definitely I could totally agree. I think a lot of the problems that we've seen this year at least have stemmed from their API. I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's very, very true. If you could ask a single person one question and they had to answer truthfully, who would you ask and what would you ask? And they can be dead or alive.
This is a good one. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. Y'all gonna have to give me a second because you're gonna see the cogwheel start spinning because I gotta think. Dead or alive? I know the person would probably be James Baldwin. It would definitely be James Baldwin. And I think the question would just be how. That's it. How? Because he had gone through so much in his life, and he had advocated for so much in his life. And he was still him. How? That's it.
I wish I was more educated about James Baldwin because I don't know enough. unfortunately.
So he was an activist. I believe it was 1950s, 1960s, an author, and he was a queer black man. And he would ask things like, why is it that my existence is not okay? You know, he would ask the same things, unfortunately, that we're asking today. And he was so eloquent, even when people were just being mean. He's one of those, activists that you don't learn about in school because he's not Martin Luther King Jr.
Fortunately not.
It's kind of like Angela Davis, too. You don't hear much about Angela Davis. She was equally as important because activism isn't always peaceful. And it's not always choosing words that white people are comfortable with. So,
Hmm.
and yeah, I Google James Baldwin. I agree with Hylash. Y'all need it's if y'all are allies, you gotta.
Hmm. No, I think it's definitely something that I'll be looking into. And who was the other one? You said Angela
Davis.
Davis. That's another
She
one.
was a member of the Black Panther Party. There's something on Spotify. It's like the prison system or something. It's from the 90s. The prison complex system. I can find that, but listen to it because it is worth it.
I think like as this whole podcast is about, perspectives, and
Yeah.
it's something that I mean, hey, I don't have to agree with everything. That's fine, but at least I can listen to
Mhm.
people and hear out
Yeah.
perspectives and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know enough about either of those to be able to give you a direct statement.
Yeah.
But it sounds like activists, and hey, it's
Mhm.
if you're standing up for something you believe in, go for it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, like
Yeah.
it's if you have that true passion, I think there's a reason why. I mean, well, this is the way. So after I said it, I was like, maybe not, but I was gonna say like protests are so important. I guess would be probably the
They
better way to
are.
put it. Is because it changes things that people just kind of roll over and like, oh, that's okay, it's normal. When it maybe shouldn't be. Just because we've done it forever doesn't mean it's
Yeah.
okay.
Protests are important because it is those who are hurt crying out in unison. It is pulling the wool from the eyes of the people who wish it didn't exist. Or, better yet, who know it exists but choose not to see it. Protesting is important, especially when it comes to marginalized people who already don't have a voice.
No, it's yeah. That's the thing is standing up for what you believe in is so important to me, and I think it's why, like, for instance, in my own workplace, I've been such a big advocate for mental health, and not saying that my workplace doesn't do a good job of it. I think they're just uneducated and to the point where they don't know how to support it, and
Yeah.
they've opened the door to be able to learn from me, and not that I'm any professional, but I'm someone who experiences it and can kind of relate it in a way that's I'm confident in doing so, and they've taken the time to listen when a lot of
Mm.
companies would just go, you know what, you're just an employee,
Yeah.
maybe you should just like quit then if this is not for you, type of thing. And that's never been the take they've taken on it. It's always been like it's always been like, okay, take your time, we'll take your mental health day, take the time that you need for yourself, we'll see when you get
Yeah.
back, and we'll get you that we'll talk and maybe debrief and see how we can maybe improve this in the future. And something I'm very proud of myself is a couple
Yes.
years ago is that they included a sick days, which is not common in the industry that I work in.
Mhm.
And so now it's not where I want it to be, but it's a whole lot better. we get 4 days throughout the year, so one per quarter, of where we can take a paid day off.
Nice.
And that was never a thing when I started there, and I mean, it was not directly from me, but it is
Yeah.
something that I think that definitely was inspired by me, and I'm proud of that, because I see people taking days that they need off because they really just need it off,
Yeah.
and they're not having to worry like, oh my god, am I going to be able to live today?
Yeah.
Or am I going to live next week because I took one day off? Am I going to be able to eat? Like,
Yeah.
no one should have to feel that way. And it's something that was so near and dear to my heart, and it's something that I'm very happy about. Yeah, it's a little change that I made, which I'm proud of myself for, and be able to
Good. You
inspire that.
should be. Yeah, you should be. Absolutely. Like if you're making a positive change for people, you should be fucking proud.
Mhm. We're on our final question. As I said, we're leaving them with one and more. However, this is one of my favorite questions, because
Mhm.
you never know what you're gonna get. It's like a box of chocolates.
Life is
So,
like a box of chocolates.
never know what you're gonna
You're
get.
doing great, Bren.
Thank you, Iggy, for the doing group, Brandon. You guys are so lovely. Thank you for everyone who's joined into us, whether it was
Yes.
our lovely new friend Wubba Streams, or it's been Highlash, or it's B, Iggy, Damien, who I know I just left. Bye, Damien. Have a good night. Or anyone that's been here. Roxanne, thank you. You guys have been so amazing. Strangely, from the first minute we started, Strangely's been in here. Strangely's so awesome. Yeah, we love Strangely. This is our last question. If you guys are very interested in going on to seeing more of these episodes, would love for you to follow. You don't have to, by any means. This is a lurkers podcast. We're okay with lurkers. We're okay with adding on to the conversation. Everything is okay to jump into. This is a space that is meant to be comfortable. Perspectives are open, and we want to hear kind of back and forth. If you're going to take a hard approach, maybe we want to slow it down and just ease into us. I mean, hey, someone earlier decided they wanted to take a quick approach, and well, they're not here anymore.
That was fun.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, it's totally up to you. You both have wonderful chemistry, and it's been an incredible conversation. I've been blessed to be able to talk to someone who's very like-minded in senses. And I'm excited to see what comes from this episode. This Connections is where and I don't know if everyone who watching this kind of understands this. This is my way of meeting people and getting to know people instead of going out for a cup of coffee, because you can't do that in a panini. I meet people on.
Why are you such a meanie?
What's it called? What I do instead of that is that I meet the people online, and people that I find inspiring or in any sort of sense. So I'm very, very glad I get to do stuff like this. However, one other last thing. I'm sorry if anyone's asking questions. I will be refunding any questions that are asked. However, maybe this is not the last time you see Raven on this channel. Just saying. If you want to see more like conversations like this, exclamation mark podcast will give you the link for all the podcast platforms wherever you listen to on. You can also do exclamation mark YouTube and go find us stuff there too as well. If you like this kind of content where you can see us and see how we're feeling, there's some amazing ones. We've had some past guests that have been in chat today, like the wonderful Bee, like we've had Mans in here, we've had the Bear Project in here. Those are all episodes. We had my mom, Mama Lisa, who's been on this Connections before. You guys can go all watch those on YouTube and on podcast form. But hey, this might not be the last time you'll see. Thank you, Wubba, for the follow there. However, we're on the last question, like I said, and I'm really milking this one for some reason. And the last question is always my favorite, because like I said, you never know what you're gonna get. And the last question is, if you wrote a book about your life up to now, what would the final line say?
God damn. No, that's not the line, but that would be funny, right? Can you imagine? You read like all the shit and it's like, God damn. That would be dope. That would be dope. But no, that wouldn't be. Yeah, mic drop. God damn. Poof. And then leave the reader just like, oh my, excuse me? What the fuck is this? What would the final line be? I guess it would be they kept looking forward. Yeah. That's it. That's it. And then goddamn. No, I'm just kidding in parentheses, right?
God damn, they kept looking forward.
God damn.
Well, to our viewers who have been here, who've hung out with us, this has been the wonderful, the lovely, the inspiring RekItRaven on Connections. Can you spam that love for our wonderful guest? Show that love, show that Connections love. Thank you, B. Or, my gosh, thank you. Thank you, Raven. I read B's name. Thanks,
I mean,
B.
you know, whatever. That's not the worst thing I've been called in my life. So.
Thank you to Raven for spending the time with us. Thank you to everyone who's been in here. Apparently, B, I'm really excited that you're here. We have a lot of things coming up. We have Who Are You coming up on November 9th. We have the November schedule being released for all of Connections coming up. You guys don't even know who's coming up. But I will tell you, next week on this Tuesday, it'll actually be a little bit later than this episode. It'll be at 4 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be talking to Alias Tinker on Connections. If you know who that is, it is a hard of hearing content creator on Twitch, trying to make it a little bit more accessible for people on Twitch that want to watch. So it's going to be a lovely stream as well. Thank you to everyone who joined. But this is the part of our stream where I give the floor to you, Raven. To shout out anyone or anything that you would like. The floor is yours as I go and find us someone that we are going to raid.
Well, y'all can find me on twitch.tv/RekItRaven, and y'all can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/RekItRaven, and y'all can find me on TikTok, but it's rekit.raven. Not a long story, just an embarrassing one. And yeah, like, thanks. I don't know. Thank y'all for being so kind. Like, I'm gonna give a shout out to like my mods that are in here. I'm gonna give a shout out to like, you know, Strangely and the Underworld crew that's up in her right now. You know, like thanks for believing in me. I'm sorry. My ADHD medication's wearing off, so oh, now you get to see it unbridled. But no, I'm just grateful for the friends that I've made so far in this journey. I'm also very grateful for the new friends that I'm making today. So thank you so much, all of you. And please come hang out and make sure you support marginalized people all the time, not just during times of trauma. Please. Thank you. This has been another TED Talk.
We're actually going to raid a friend of the stream, actually.
Yes.
And not someone you guys might think of usually, too. Actually, usually someone who's in the viewership. I don't think they usually stream often, which is more impressive to me that they are streaming. And kind of why I want to do this.
Hell yes.
However. Oh, yeah. Oh, is right, B. I want to thank all of you guys for being here today. Whether it was Raven, whether it was B, whether it was Strangely, whether it was Roxanne, whether it was Waba, whether it was Highlash, whether it was Donovan Multi, who we got in here, whether it was Damien, whether it was Iggy, whether it was Jacko, I saw you, Jacko, whether it was Wolf, whether it was, oh my goodness, who else is in here? There's so much love. You guys are spamming and I love it.
You're doing great, Brent.
Whether it was Bear, thank you, Multi, for the doing great, Brent. Whether it was someone that I did not name, I want to thank you for spending your time with us, whether it was listening, whether it was just hanging out. We do this every Tuesday. This is Connections. We also have a game show called Who Are You that is coming up very soon. I'm going to run that intro one last time before we bop out. But thank you for spending your time with me. I hope I'll see you next Tuesday. If not, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I appreciate you. You're the best. Take care. Drink some water. Have fun in that raid. By the way, !raid. Get that raid message ready too. !raid. We're going to go raid Most Average Gamer. Meg, if you've seen in chat, who is here quite often, and I'm now knowing why they're not here today. It's because they're streaming, which is, I mean, really awesome and cool.
Oh no, I can't copy it. Okay, here we go. I got it. We're
So I'm gonna run it after that. So please watch the game show promotional thing here one last time. However, I love you. Have a good night. Drink some water. Take care. And we'll see you. Bye bye. Bola, I need you to choose one person to be on the next episode of Who Are You?
People that I really think deserves to be on it. And I'm going to go with Mitch with 1L.
For those of you that have watched Who Are You in October, I think November Who Are You will surprise you. We've updated some of the rules and some of the games to better accommodate the viewers and the contestants.